background, I am a counsellor who works in Lancashire, the Blackburn area. And at the same time, I do work with journaling, images, archetypes, and at times, of course, using also tarot cards, as in this instance. I come to you with this video for various reasons. First of all, is an opportunity to thank all the over 1,000 people who actually watch one of my previous videos, and the nice comments, emails, Facebook likes and contacts that I got, and this also assures me that I'm on the right path, and then I could be of help and assistance of anyone who's out there. Again, when I'm working with tarot cards and images, I do not work with a fortune-telling, divination kind of aim, even though I do understand and I appreciate when other people are working that way. The sessions that I normally do, as in tarot cards reading, are very much in the here and the now, and working with archetypes and working with the client in about a 20-minute session in order to see what the client is, what their reactions are, and if there is any kind of direction that they could actually take. So when I was actually envisioning one day in my journal, one of the journals that I show you in the previous video, about what to me a counseling session or a tarot slash active listening counseling type of session, these are the cards that actually came out. I could envision somehow a circle, card at the bottom, card at the center with the pentacle, and card at the top. And to me, the card at the bottom was, I don't know, I had this feeling that was very much an intuition of it being the unconscious somehow. The central card, the card that is right to the center of the circle, was more of the conscious level when working with a client, and at the top is the card that I felt it was more of a professional nudge kind of thing. And of course I didn't turn the card at the time, so that was the first impression, the first feeling, the first intuition that I got. So as per the card at the bottom, the card that came out was actually the 10. Let me see if I can actually show you. The 10th of Pentacles. 10th of Pentacles, as probably you are aware, is one of the most symbolic cards. This is the Rider-Waite Smith tarot deck. One of the most symbolic cards. There is a gate opening to what could be hidden experiences. One of the messages of the card is, can you actually see the magic that is all around? We can actually see the tree of life, the Kabbalistic tree of life, but the 10 stars and the 10 pentacles, they are not actually connected. So the unconscious somehow is not connected yet, and for us to understand. The most important thing is the old man who wears sort of like an esoteric and full of arcane symbolisms on his robe. The man and the woman, they don't actually recognize him or nor somehow talk to him. There is a child who seems to be pretty scared, a classical hiding behind his mom. The old man, the wise man, the sage is only, or the magus, I would call him, is only recognized by the instinct and the trustworthiness of the two dogs. If we think also the dogs as in one of the dogs, for example, in the Fool's card, so there is always the companion, so it is the instinctual part. This man is inside, outside, it's entirely up to the client to decide. We are at the gate, basically. We are at the gate. The gates are very ornate and compared to the buildings which are inside. I don't know if you ever been to a city like Bologna or some cities in Tuscany or the center of Italy. You can actually see buildings with this kind of coloring turf and very similar also in kind of design. So To me, that stems from lots of notions, lots of intellect, lots of things, lots of contact, but not connections as such. The old man, of course, is somehow in disguise, because of course he doesn't want himself to be recognized, and this reminds us very much of Odysseus, I think you call him, Odysseus, who comes back to destroy the evil in this house and reestablish the right moral order. When we are dealing with, of course, in counseling sessions, with what is the unconscious and the collective unconscious, we think about Jung, of course, they work a lot about archetypes. So the question that I would ask to the client is, are you still staying at the outside of this picture, or would you say that you are prepared to step in, and would you be strong enough, would you be willing to talk to the older man? Can I go beyond also the image? Can I go right into the depths when I'm actually working with a therapist, when I'm working in a session? So this is the first card that came up, and strange enough, the second card, i.e. what the conscious is, the stars, the star major arcana came out, the card number 17. Notice Pentacles, stars, of course, in the star. In this case, the stars, and they're all 8-pointed stars. It's like being and having two squares like united. Similar somehow to the Temperance card. Temperance is very much this angel who's actually coming down, touching the earth and give us help and advice. But while the Temperance is somehow a controlled character, controlled archetype, controlled assistance and help, the stars is more free. And the veil, if you do remember the High Priestess card, behind the two towers there's the veil. Behind the veil, the water is of course calm and quiet, and we can notice that behind the turmoil, most of the time there is a lot of joy, and a lot of times you need to go through the pain in order to reach this kind of stillness of the pool. And if you think, of course, what happens is that, of course, underneath this pool, this is what we have, all the connections, all the possibilities that need still to be connected. So this is why I thought that together these two cards were working pretty well. Notice, of course, that the star figure, she only looks at one of the jars of water. She's completely trusting that whatever happens to the rest is gonna find its way. There is a balance of energy. There is a sense of deep awareness, a super consciousness. If this is the unconscious card, what it is below, of course, this is like the super consciousness is also in the session. The fact that, of course, they're all 8-pointed stars, number 8, that represents the card, the other tarot card, which is strength. So there is a lot of availability, there is a lot of possibility. And the third card, which for me was what I would call the professional nudge, if to keep on going and following this road, and the type of work that I'm doing, the type especially that I'm doing on myself, somehow a sense of reassurance. The card that I got out was the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is, of course, capabilities. Whenever I see pentacles, I don't see them as money as such, or as a professional success, but I would call more about the ability of using one's own talent, very possibly one's own talent for a higher purpose. The fact that there is the King of Pentacles, of course, is in nature. He's outside of his of his castle. He's very grounded. His achievement, that means achievement, satisfaction, capabilities, talents, fruits of work, and he's, yeah, I would say, yeah, the word satisfied comes up again. So look at my own capabilities, look at my own professionalism. I am in this moment, in this card, represented by the king. So while the queen represents the emotional parts of what the symbolism might mean, the king is physically the making the symbolism work. That's the practicality of in this case of the Pentacles. So when I saw these 3 cards, I thought that I was on the right path. To be honest, I was extremely pleased. Not that I didn't feel it within myself, but it's nice in these cases to do it, an extra kind of work, and see how I can then, in order to learn it, to read better, to fine-tune myself to what the cards want to tell me, and especially using also the other deck that sometimes I use. This is the dreaming way of the dreaming, or the dreaming way. Sorry, just don't remember exact the name now of the deck. But again, these are the 10 of Pentacles. This is the Star. You can see water, and this is the King. Note how the robes that they were wearing, they're very similar, with grapes and fruits, and us both sitting outside of the castle with this sense of satisfaction and being pleased with the work that actually has been done and the work that is being done. So these are the cards, which meant that to me, working with the unconscious, the conscious, and the way that is the work can be carried out is the right way for me. That doesn't mean that it's the right way for everybody, which also means that, for example, working, as I was showing you, the kind of work that I've been doing with my journal is the right way for me to work. So collecting my dreams. This is the same kind of journal which I've showed you in the other video about the morning routine. So this is the journal that I'm using. This is actually almost a whole year. So that started in July 2016 and is finishing now at the very beginning of October. I would like to start the new one on this coming Tuesday, for a reason I will tell you later on. So I'm actually very close to the end of the journal. So this is the journal that I'm doing and I'm keeping every day. This is the morning. I'm recording dreams. I'm doing a card reading. Sometimes it's only one card. Some other times it is more than one card. If it is a Monday, I'd like to do what is going to happen during the week. This is an idea that I got because I felt to try to do a year in chunks of 2 months per card. Ideas of another diary that I have and everything. So this is the diary, and regarding the idea that I had about the other diary, I've noticed that when some of the cards came out, for example, when I had the Two of Cups, I've understood there was a lot of work that I've done around archetypes and symbolism. Again, this is the card Hermes. Hermes is also Mercury. Mercury has been going direct for a short while now, and as of yesterday, I think he actually went into Libra. So, but Hermes is God of communication, etc. And I've noticed that in a lot of my reading, when they are very personal reading, staffs and rods came out. So I did. This is the staff, of course, of Hermes. I had a lot of times the Hermit that came out. And later on, I've also realized that, for example, there's Hierophant, it's got other stuff, etc. So I was reading and studying a lot about symbolism and the staff, I don't know, staff of Moses, the transformationals and the vocational calling that people can have, especially when staffs are represented and used as symbols in tarot cards reading. Why am I saying this? Because this is, of course, this is a Leuchtturm, the bullet journal, which, as I said, I'm about to finish now. As far as I'm aware, the bullet journal is out of print now, so I've actually managed to get myself something else, not as a Leuchtturm. This is also a Leuchtturm. This is the shorter version. Instead of this is the 200 and I believe 250 pages. 249 pages. Well, this version here is only 120 pages. Why did I get this one? Because I wanted to create, with the kind of work that I'm doing, working with clients, working with images, working with symbolism, working with correlations. One thing that I have noticed is that I'm going through a lot of symbols myself and a lot of different kinds of books. So you've noticed my liberation book in the previous video, which I did, and which is good to keep at home, but I want something a bit more personal, because in the liberation book I've copied and pasted and printed a lot of stuff that I found outside, while in this one, this is going to be very personal. So I've opened with a symbol which I've got no idea what it means. I don't know where it came from, but I do have memories, very strong memories of me sitting in my father's car. I can tell you even the exact date. It was the 6th of May 1976. Why do I remember this? Well, this is very personal. There's been an earthquake in my area. It was an evening, and I remember that fiddling with my finger. I was sitting, of course, just behind. My father was driving. I was sitting behind my father's driver's seat, with my head next on the window at night. Very distressful moment. I'm not gonna go into too many details. What I do remember though is that I was fiddling with my finger on my knee and I was doing this symbol here. As I said, I don't actually, so you've got to imagine, because in this, I'm just doing this. I don't know what it means. If actually anybody has got any idea of what this symbol might mean, I'm more than happy to listen. So please use the do it this way. Use the space for the comments at the bottom. But besides this symbol, I've decided to create a book in here where I've got all my own personal references. So I've been drawing the wheel of the time, because of course the time is linear in this sense to me, go in this direction. I've sort of like made it into and draw into this way, and then I've been working with colors and symbolism of the various Celtic goddesses and the 9 Morrigans and the 9 goddesses, as in 8 plus Lady of Avalon, with all the festivities and the Wheel of Time. And then I'm showing to you this now as empty as it is, because I then want to start writing stuff myself. This is going to become very personal, and I don't feel it is right and fair of you to see what it is that I actually write inside. So, but I thought if I'm making the video, then you can actually then see it and maybe reproduce something similar to this. Anyway, this is I don't know, symbols. It's going to be air, water, earth, and fire, and spirit of beginning. This is symbolism of numbers, more spaces, because I've left some white pages for more symbols. And then, of course, here I've got the Fool's Journey. So these are all the symbols of the the tarot. For example, the first 7 tarot, they don't move. The second lot of 7 tarots, they've got a horizontal move. The last lot of 7 tarots, they've got a vertical move. And then, I don't know, these are the wands, of course, cups, swords, and pentacles. So in this way, I can actually write what the card means to me. So because most of the times readings are not just purely as, oh my god, the justification, the explanation for the card is blah 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 this, which is very intellectual, while instead this card symbolizes to me, this is what I think the card is for me. And then following, we've got symbolism of colors, including white and black, some symbolism of chakras, which is the same of the colors but expanded as for the chakras. Some things about, I don't know, because we're talking about colors, I thought I could add something about feng shui, for examples, and stones. I work a lot with stones, crystals, incense. And then of course I've got my moon cycles, and I've got all the planets. And then of course, I don't know, I will write extra about, I will write about the houses, I will write about my own natal chart with the significance, some, I don't know, some notes, extra notes and everything. So this is why I thought if I'm getting actually 120 pages as in a reference booklet, this is more than enough. It's easy, it's very light, easy to carry, and then I can actually start working with this. So it took me about sort of a good weekend for the drawings and the ideas, and then of course this one. So if you can actually see, as in also the thickness, bearing in mind that this of course has been used. So what I thought about getting myself now as simply as a daily journal, it is this. This is a moleskin. I was about to say a simple moleskin. It's not, the moleskins are that simple too. I always work, let me see if I can actually show you. I always work with the dotted version. I would like to start using this for this Tuesday. The reason being is this Tuesday is actually my birthday. I'm a Libra Sun, Libra rising. So I thought that actually, because this the new astrological year started for me this Tuesday, I thought it would be nice also to start using the new diary. And I only have got like 3 or 4 pages left in the old one. So at the beginning I just got the index, and I've got the major arcana and the minor arcana. Why have I written them this way? Because I don't think I've shown you this. In the old one, every day I'm actually, whenever the card is out, I'm actually writing the card with the page where the card is, and if it is upward or reversed, as the words wasn't coming. Also because I can notice how some new cards, well, like from the beginning of September, something must have changed in me, for example, because a lot of new cards came out. Still, I never had a 7 of wands, never had an 8 of cups, never had an 8 of pentacles, and never had a 5 of swords. So in this way I'm just keeping track. Or the sun, for example, never had one sun, and as I remember, so justice only once, it was reversed, hierophant only once, and it was quite later on, because I'm on page 222 now, and the hierophant came out at page 199. So in this way I can actually keep track of the cards and what the cards mean to me. So as I said at the beginning, there is just some minor arcana, just a couple of reminders of stuff that I liked from the previous one. 12 steps, as in, I don't know, taking change of my own happiness, avoid people and situations that drain your energies, etc. So this is it. I've somehow explained and showed you the new symbolism journal that I'm creating. I finished the daily one with the tarot cards every day and the dreams, and this is the new one which is ready. I'm ready to start using, and this is a moleskin, so paper I think is fairly the same. I like because it is slightly narrower than the Lighttome, so it's not an A5, the height is exactly the same, but it's slightly narrower, and somehow in the bag and everything being just like a daily book, and of course it's gonna go together with this because this is the symbol. And so I'll let you know how it goes. I'm noticing now that of course we got like almost to half an hour, which is very long. So I'm really sorry for the people who, but also thank you for the people who actually stayed up to now to listen and watch this video. If there is anything else that you would like to know, please write, send an email, etc. If you want to know or have any more information about the counseling sessions or working with the archetypes and images, or the kind of work that I do when dealing with people in recovery from addiction, and especially working with the perfect daughters, please do not hesitate to send me an email, contact me via Facebook. Just go and check our page and just click like and share. Thank you very much, and take good care out there. Bye.